Cleaning the energy, cleaning the energy. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Anastasia in case you're here for the first time, but if you're not for the first time, then you probably know that it was my birthday recently. Today I wanted to share with you my 30 lessons of life that I am following and that I would like my old 20-year-old self to know. If you are a young person, that may really helpful. And even if you are not a young person, but you are maybe older than me and you just hit like a milestone and you feel that crisis, that age and identity crisis that hits everyone at that moment, you probably will also benefit from this video. You don't have to have it figured out. You don't have to be a perfectionist, you don't have to have a plan A, a plan B and plan C. Sometimes it's impossible, especially when you are young and especially when you have to make some important life decisions. It's like where to go to college or whether you should go to college or whether you should find work, should you move out, like stuff like that, that these topics bother a lot of young people and sometimes some older people too in the 30s or 40s, depends on the situation of everyone. Sometimes we just need to give ourselves like a break and tell that we don't have to make too many decisions just now. As my therapists say, not making a decision is also making a decision. And that makes so much sense. It's better to do something rather than never make the attempt. It can apply to many things in your life, in relationships, in career opportunities, in again moving out, finding a roommate, start living on your own, going on that trip. What I did in my 20s, I took a long studies regarded trip to Spain. I used to live in Greece with my mom back then. I was 23 years old and I decided to give it a shot, apply to study abroad. I always loved the Spanish culture and the Spanish language and I thought, why not? I decided, I made a decision, I applied for some Spanish courses priorly going to Spain. They accepted me, I went to the city that I wanted and I had an amazing time. Just an amazing time. I initially wanted to go for 1 semester and then a professor, he convinced me that you have to do 2 semesters, otherwise you will regret it. And he was right. 2 semesters was amazing. It was an amazing opportunity. Not everybody is going to be nice to you and not everybody is going to like you. And it's time for us to just accept this fact as it is. Sometimes we don't do anything wrong. Sometimes all we want to do is just to kind of fit in the situation, try to fit in the new environment, whether it regards work or school. Sometimes there are people that you get to know that simply seem that they don't like you just because you exist. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it's karma. It's something in your energy that they don't like. Sometimes you don't even have to open like your mouth. And the same applies to me. Sometimes I have that feeling that I don't like a person and I cannot explain why. And I guess that's normal because I am nice to people. It doesn't mean that they are going to be nice towards me. So I just have to gauge it. If a person is not nice to me and doesn't respect me, I want to stop every communication. Don't be afraid to say no. No is a no. Not saying yes, it's also a no. Changing your mind, it's also a no. This is something that I am telling to myself too. It's something that I am working on. I will be honest with you. Most of the times it's hard to say no. And it can be from anything stupid like hanging out with your friends on a day that you don't want to do that, you are just not in the mood, to helping somebody in their project, to lending somebody money. Situations where you think that you have to say yes and you feel that if you say no that they will hate you for that, but even if it will be their problem, it's not your problem if you say no. This one is amazing and I learned it from my therapist. Healing is not linear. It's actually a path with ups and downs, and it's completely normal. Even if you feel that you are getting better from your situation that bothered you, you can still have days when it turns you back, when you feel sometimes that you are drowned, sometimes that you don't have the capacity, like don't have that motivation or energy to just believe in the better future, I guess. Healing is a process that can be long. It depends always on what happened to you, of course. I went through a stressful situation by moving here. My whole environment changed, although that was my personal decision to move to United States because my husband lives here, and I decided to start a new life here with him. Despite the fact that it was my adult decision, I still feel stressed in some situations because I don't have my family close to me. I simply cannot go and visit my mom on a Sunday. It's just not possible. They are in Greece. I guess I will be able to visit them maybe twice a year. I hope maybe more. I'm not sure if they are going to come that often here, and that creates a lot of stress. It's important to realize that healing, and what I'm going through is healing right now, is to understand that it's like a long-term process. Definitely you will be better, definitely, but you have to be patient. Number 6, save money. That's it. I'm moving on to the next number. This is my favorite. Don't be afraid of getting rid of toxic people in your life. It's better to be alone. I learned that with my own core, if it makes sense. I'm glad that I used to be single for a long period of time. I think most of my 20s I was single. I had some relationships that were not that long in the beginning of my 20s, but after 23 until 26 I was single. I used to date. When I used to have relationships, some of them were toxic and I wasn't realizing it at the moment, and I didn't get out of them as sooner as possible. And that, of course, created more trauma to me. The thing is that you know when you are not happy anymore in a relationship. You know that. The rest is just the lies that you are telling to yourself. And I'm not putting the blame to other people. I used to have also some situations when some friends told me that this friendship cannot go on. I had some situations like that. It was very awkward, but they felt at that moment that they cannot keep up because they felt a certain way. At least they were honest. Now I realize that they were actually honest and they decided to not keep going with a friendship that they didn't like. Accept the fact that we cannot change overnight. We cannot change the person who we are. We have our habits, sometimes the bad habits. We have formulated already a character, like a personality, and you have some traits. Even if you want to change and become like a better person, a better version of yourself, it won't happen overnight. Accept the fact that becoming better every day by 1% is more realistic and it's a better approach because you will feel better. There is no overnight success and people don't change. There is a reason why we say that people don't change, because it's impossible to change overnight or even in 1 year. It's not that possible. But if you put your actions towards the change and build some new habits, 1% a day you will become better. I firmly believe in that. This one I heard actually last night when I was watching the movie Nonas on Netflix. Very sweet movie. Watch it if you have the chance. Very, very nice, based on true story. So the phrase was approximately like that. Don't let the past hurts ruin your new life beginnings or new life happiness. It was something like that. And it's so beautiful. Literally, sometimes we let things from the past, people from the past, moments from the past that are not relevant anymore now to bother us. We are stuck on them. We have to learn to let go. It's hard, very hard. I'm not here to tell you that it's easy, but sometimes realize that you have something from where you can start clean, even today. You don't need to earn your rest. Recently I was listening to an interview on YouTube, The Meaning of Life, basically what we are all like questioning. The meaning of life is just to be happy. God created us to be happy and to share love. And this phrase just like was so mind-blowing for me. That's it. That's all what we need to do. You think it's easy, but it's not. You will find yourself like being resistant to that. It's as simple as this. Journal. I love it because it adds me peace and peace of mind. And when you write through your hand, you put your energy towards the paper. You probably have heard stuff like that, and you put your neurons actually to work when you write, because you let your thoughts out of your head. They are not longer in your like head, they are on paper. Or when you articulate, when you tell what is bothering you to somebody, this also is a huge help. But even if you are writing it down, it's very, very good. Or if nothing is bothering you and you just keep a journal, it's also very good. You just let go of the moments of the day. When you notice the red flag, make yourself a favor and just leave, disappear, like run, something. When you see the red flags, you know that you see them. Stop lying to yourself. Ghosting doesn't mean that they want more. Ghosting doesn't mean that they love you. Ghosting doesn't mean that they are secretly interested in you, but they are playing it hard. No. Ghosting is toxic, unhealthy, and immature, and also gives away some cowardice. I'm advising you to take more photos. I know nowadays we are not printing the photos and putting them in a nice photo album, but just having them at least in your phone or in a memory card, like somewhere stored, you will not regret it. Photos are one of the best ways to just remember how you used to look like, how the people around you used to look like. It's just a beautiful way to keep the memory of yourself and the people that you love. Let's speak kindly to ourselves, like a little bit, at least once a day. Can we do that, please? This is a big one. I know everybody's situation is different, but if you can, spend more time with your parents. They are not going to be here forever. I know some people may have issues with one of their parents or both of their parents, and they may think that it's better to not talk, to avoid them, but parents are parents. Parents are also humans. They make mistakes. Yes, maybe they didn't know better. Maybe they gave you whatever they could to give you. They are just human beings. I know that every situation is so personal and so like individual, and I cannot talk for everybody, but maybe give them one more chance. And of course the same applies to siblings, cousins, grandparents. Sometimes people just let something silly get in between them and they don't talk to each other, they stop any communication and they hold a grudge on each other. And for what? Just think about that. Try to not be, I don't know, always nice. Try to not shrink yourself to fit into somebody else's comfort, I guess. If you don't like a certain person that is going to be around in the friend group, you don't have to go out with them. If you don't like the place that your friends want to go, you don't have to go. Better stay home if you don't want to go there. If you don't like how your partner talks to you, you don't have to just sit and listen to that. Always say what's bothering you. It's healthy when we actually say what's bothering us rather than holding it in and thinking that we can overcome it and trying not to be that annoying person. Sometimes we think like that, especially when we are young, that oh, I don't want him to think that I am annoying. That's why I'm not going to tell that ghosting me, it's actually bothering me. You know, stuff like that. Friendships come and friendships go. We sometimes cannot be friends with somebody forever, as hurtful as it may sound. And it simply means that your paths are different now, you think differently probably, you don't like the energy of each other, you don't share the same interests. It can happen. The same thing as with the romantic relationships. We are not here to bother somebody. Let's make relationships that make us happy, and let's make other people happy too with our presence. There is no reason to be around if somebody is unhappy. You're not competing with anyone. Life is not like a race that you have to necessarily win. Sometimes we think that we have to succeed by a certain age, that we have to earn a certain amount of money by a certain age, that we have to be married, let's say by 30, or have 2 kids and like a career. Not always this happens. You have your own path, you have your own rhythm. Just enjoy it. Just really enjoy it. Stop blaming yourself for every little mistake you have done and for every time you failed. All it is sometimes is bad timing. And I have a good example here. When I met my husband, I was 23 and he was 26. We were clearly both young for a serious relationship maybe. Plus he was traveling in Europe, he was from USA, and I was living in Greece. I then had plans to go study to Spain for 2 semesters, and he had plans to go back to USA and start a job. We both understood that it's a bad timing for shaping something out of that. But 3 years passed. I was 26, he was 29. We were both more mature. We had already, some young 20s experiences. And when we reunited again back in Greece, when he came to visit me and to visit Greece, when we reunited, we thought that now it's time. Maybe we can give it a shot and try it. And since then we started the long distance relationship. Stop comparing yourself to other people, and especially to people that you just see online, like YouTubers, influencers, bloggers, famous people. You don't always know the true story. People tend to show one side of the story, or show you maybe 10 or 20% of their life. You don't know all the details. Not many people share their struggles. What people share and like to do is to share their achievements, something nice about their lives, like something that they're proud of, but not that many people actually share their failures or being vulnerable in front of a camera. This is something very difficult. Not everybody is doing that, so don't blame yourself if you feel that you are failing on something. Believe me, these people fail too on something, and these people also feel like shit some days. It's normal, it's just being human. Start forming some good habits early. Go to bed early, go to the gym or do some exercise, keep yourself in shape, eating healthy, watching good content, watching good movies, comedies or romantic dramas, or something that is giving you more positive feedback rather than negative. It really affects your mood and how you approach this world and your mental state too. In general, habits, I guess this advice contains 2 in 1, but okay. In general, what I am learning now from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear is that habits have to be formulated when you know the result, when you have an idea of what person you want to become. Not just I want to read more, but I want to be a reader. Not just I want to cook more at home, but I want to be healthy. I want to eat healthy. You have to focus on the final result and on the final image that you are trying to achieve from that, on what person you want to be. Plus, habits is something that can be only formulated when you have structure. Don't just say, I'm going to meditate sometime during the day. It never works. It never worked for me, to be honest. What works is saying, I'm going to meditate after I wake up, and after I'm going to read a book, and after I'm going to prepare breakfast, and you know the time frames, how long it will take you. That will make your mind actually think about it more easily. Therapy is normal. It doesn't mean that you are crazy. It doesn't mean that you are nuts. People will not judge you, and who judges you, they are weirds. They're weirdos. To treat your soul equals to treat your body. You go to the dentist, you go to a physician. Why it's bad to go to a therapist? You want to treat your soul, you want to make yourself feel better. Plus, most of our physical experiences that we have has a direct equality with how we feel mentally. It all starts from the mind, actually. That's a good one. You are allowed to change your mind. I think we mentioned that you are allowed to say no. In case you said yes, and even if it's not to hang out with somebody, like something simple, but actually a work project, you said yes to work with a specific client, you changed your mind afterwards for whatever reason, you are allowed to say no. You're allowed to change your mind. Everyone is thinking about themselves. It's that simple. Most of the day we think about ourselves, not about other people. So when you are afraid to post like that Instagram story, or you hesitate to upload that video on YouTube, had to charge the microphone. Well, that happens, and while I was waiting, I feel that my hair is more frizzy now. I think we have four lessons, life lessons left. No more than 2 cocktails. Your number when drinking is number 2. And I think that rule applies for everybody, to be honest. Allow yourself to feel all your emotions. We love the emotions that are in the happy range, but the emotions that are more in the sad range, I'm not calling them negative emotions, because emotions are not positive or negative, they are just emotions. So we are not labeling them as that, but it's in the sad range of emotions because they create different body reactions. So whenever we feel these sad emotions like anger, like stress, like fear, like grief, like frustration, maybe hate, sometimes we have to let ourselves to experience these emotions. When we start feeling an emotion and it's not a pleasant one, the problem is that we want to get rid of it as fast as possible. We don't know what to do with it. But we have to let it happen to us. You will not die from feeling fear or from feeling frustration or anger. Of course, if it's a chronic phase, maybe it's a good option to have some sessions with a therapist, because you shouldn't keep that in yourself. But if you experience just randomly some unpleasant emotions here and there, don't be ashamed of them. Feel your emotions and experience your emotions. Of course, at no harm to yourself and to others. Get a to-do list. Download an application with a to-do list. You have to have a schedule. Even if you are a freelancer, self-employed, working from home, you have to have a schedule. Working on an impulse, being spontaneous, and just waiting for that creativity burst to come and find you, it doesn't work. I wasted my 20s on that, and I am regretting that. Yes, I am regretting that. I would like to be more disciplined. I would like to have a schedule. Really, I would like to have a 9 to 5 schedule, and this is what I'm going to apply from now on. And I want to have a schedule, and it's important to divide your rest time and your work time. The problem is when you are a freelancer or an influencer, YouTuber, self-employed, is that creative thinking never stops. You may be laying on the beach and that idea for a video will pop up. So what you can do with your ideas, you can just write them down in your phone application, or if you carry a journal with you, write them down. It's important. And with that simple way, you have a whole bank of ideas. So whenever you need to create a video, you search for one idea of them and use it. So that will not affect your rest, and you will not think about it for the rest of the day. Having a schedule is important, and try to follow it. You don't have to finish every task on your to-do list, because that's overwhelming. Have a reasonable approach on your day, how much time you need for each task, and some tasks are important, some tasks are not that important. The last advice, life lesson for today, is to find your God. I don't mean by that go to the church or pray this amount of times a day. What I mean is try to find your peace every day, and God is within us. and try to connect to God. Try to be more grateful. Gratitude is actually the best way to connect with God. So try to be grateful every day for a little slight small thing that happened in your day. Just appreciative that you have already so many opportunities, moments, people, stuff at your home, like you have food, all of that. Just be grateful, and that will create a great energy so you can keep up with your day and with your beautiful life. Okay, I didn't want to be too dramatic here, but I felt that this was important to clarify. So friends, thank you very much that you stayed with me until this moment. Let me know what are your life lessons, what is keep you going. Let me know if you felt at some point of your life an age crisis or an identity crisis, if you felt stuck. This is very interesting to me. I would really like to read your thoughts, and we can talk in the comments. Of course, you can ask anything you want in the comments too, and potentially I'm going to reply to that in the next vlog because I love doing that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on my social media links on Instagram or TikTok, wherever you feel like. The links are linked down below. And until the next time, see you soon!